All right, it's been a little bit more difficult than we anticipated. But at this point, after working on this cotton picker for 2 days, I hope I'm gonna have a cotton picker back together to actually pick a decent cotton crop this fall. Well guys, vacation's over with. It is back to work. And man alive, have things changed around here over the last week and a half. You know, when we left, we'd gotten about an inch of rain over a lot of our ground, a little bit less on some of the others. And then the week after that rain, while we were gone, most of the week was over 100 degrees, dry and hot, and our crops were literally burning up. That inch of rain really helped, but you know, it was only a temporary reprieve. But man, look at this now. It's green around here. I mean, it's looking like back to normal. About 10 days after we got that inch of rain, we got another quarter of an inch, and then a couple days after that, we got 2.75 inches of rain, and over several hours, every bit of it soaked in. I mean, the creeks were still dry. None of that rain ran off and really helped recharge the soil moisture. And then yesterday we got another 4/10 of an inch of rain. So corn been hurt terribly bad. No getting around that. No coming back from that. But the soybeans and the cotton really benefiting from. In fact, the cotton's looking really good. Really good. Soybeans not quite as good, but they're still acceptable. Still got chances for a decent yield. But man, I actually seen some moisture in the ground, and actually a little bit of mud in places. Kind of rejuvenates me a little bit. But now it's August. We got to turn our attention to getting ready for fall harvest, because it's probably going to be a little bit earlier. We're probably going to have a condensed August here to get our equipment ready to go, because you know, corn's going to be early. Some of the corn's actually already died before it's reached black layer in some of the worst spots of the field. So corn's definitely going to be ready a little bit earlier than what we're expecting. So we got to get all of our stuff ready to go, because once that corn crop is ready to harvest, it's not going to stand out there. Got weak stalks and everything else, and we're going to have to get it, and get it in a hurry. So first thing we're going to turn our attention to today, the cotton picker. We're going to take some stuff off of here, send it off, and have it rebuilt. So that's going to be the first thing we're going to do, so we can get this thing up and going. Well, did you eat your Wheaties this morning?
I'm hoping so, because both of them hydrostats are connected to each other.
Yep. What we got to do is we got to pull the hydrostats out from this machine. Remember last fall we developed a leak on a hydraulic pump back up in there, so we're definitely going to fix that. But last year really noticed that this thing just did not pull as good, especially going down the road, as what we were used to. And that's a sure sign that either the hydrostatic pumps or the hydrostatic motors getting weak. And this cotton picker's actually got 2 hydrostatic pumps on here. I think it's got 2 hydrostatic motors. One drives the transmission, and then one drives the heads and stuff. So we're going to take them off and take them to Friendship, Tennessee, more pumps, and let them go through them, rebuild them, make sure this thing is ready to go and won't leave us dead in the water on a road in between fields this fall.
It's probably going to be running better after it gets back for more. Them suckers don't play when it comes to rebuilding this stuff.
No, they don't play with a price tag either, that's for sure. Anyway, what we got one pump here. Got another pump behind it. They're both joined to the engine, and then we got the hydraulic motors up in the guts. Take both of them off. These suckers are gonna be heavy, and it's gonna be a messy job. Not even really sure how we're supposed to drain the hydraulic reservoir on there. No, we got.
I see how.
Was it got a plug on there somewhere?
I bet that'd probably be the easiest right there. That's your supply line from your reservoir. Yeah,
well, we got the suction line here. That's, I don't know. It's, I think our best bet probably take the suction line loose right here from the hydraulic pump, and that way it can kind of come over here into a bucket. Still gonna be nasty though.
Yay boy.
And then of course all of these lines and fittings and stuff have got to come off. Anyway, I'm gonna take a video of how all this stuff is bolted together, all the lines and everything, so I can reference it when we're putting this back together. Well, I think we got about as much on the floor as we did our buckets.
They couldn't ever design something to where you can drain it easily.
I mean, what's wrong with a drain plug on the bottom of the reservoir with a nice little attachment hose attached to it? I mean, how hard would that be?
If they can put it on a $5,000 lawnmower, they should be able to put it on a little bit more important piece of equipment.
Anyway, this is just the beginning of the mess. Wait till we start cracking some lines loose, then there's going to be oil everywhere. Luckily, Kelly's still in Humboldt and she can get us some more quick absorb. Well, we're not having a good track record of success this year, and that streak continues. We were able to get the front hydrostat out, wasn't too bad at all. But this second one is throwing us for a loop. We got the drive shaft going out from the flywheel over here to the hydrostat, but we got a big nut on this pulley that's got to come off. This pulley's got to come off before we can slide the hydrostat out. And that sucker's on there tight, and we cannot hold the pulley still. We put the belt back on, and then we've got several pieces of wood cut and wedged in there around the pulley, and it's still slipping when we try and turn the nuts. So we use about every trick in the book. In fact, we had a guy out here just happened to be in the area. He watches the channel, and he wanted to talk to me about a couple things. Stopped out here, and he's actually done this before on a 9976 picker, and he's the one you saw in the time lapse. He was a big help to us on getting this far, but we use about all the tricks we know. So had to make a call to Tennessee Tractor, and it sounds like they're just pulling up. Hopefully with their help, we'll be able to get that pulley broke loose and get the last hydrostat out of there. All right, it's been a little bit more difficult than we anticipated. Finally got the pulley off. Tennessee Tractor helped us do that. Wound up wedging some more wood and wedging a pry bar up under the belt to hold the pulley still. And then it's just a press fit on there, so it popped off without too much problems. And then we got the 4 bolts holding it back there, got them off, and then I had to build this frame right here because this thing is every bit of 200 pounds, and trying to manhandle it, trying to fit it down through the frame here, or picking it up and lifting out and sliding it without dropping it and then it falling on the floor was going to be next to impossible. So I made this simple frame here that bolts up to the housing, and we just got a C-clamp to a fork here on the forklift, and we should just be able to just pick it up and pull it straight out. Make it easier getting out, but if it works right, it'll make it a whole lot easier going back in, because it'd be even harder getting it back in than it would be getting it out. Hopefully this works fine, it comes right on out, and that'll be enough for today, because I'm about ready for an adult beverage. All right, continue to raise it up a little. Alright, hold up. Alright, there we go. All the bolts are out. Alright, now lift it up. Oh, yeah. Oh. Thing's heavy. Feet are sliding.
Huh?
The feet are sliding. Alright, lift it up some. Keep on coming. Oh, all right, back up out here. All right, hold. All right, straight back. Hold. All right, it's 90, go ahead and come off, pull forward a little. And my wife wants me to leave the house.
Go up.
Now come on back out here. All right, up. Oh. All right, come on. Oh. Down. All right, ho. Back up.
I done runway.
Get the wheel slightly. All right. Alright.
Am I gonna miss the hookup?
You're fine, come on back. Alright, you're clear. You cut as hard as you want.
Take it.
Oh, you're good. You got me ready. Alright. That worked like a charm. There ain't no way we would have wrestled that thing out. That clearance was so tight, we never would have wrestled that thing out.
I would have known it was going to take that. I would have parked this picker sideways in there.
Well, if you cut the wheels and backed up a little bit, it made it a little bit easier, but regardless, we got it out. That's the kind of hole that it fits up in, and there ain't much room for error. All right, that's going to be it for today. Tomorrow morning, we tackle the hydraulic motors.
Oh, no, you're not done today.
I'm done with this today.
You're gonna grab a hoe.
Like heck I am.
Oh, you're grabbing one.
How bad is it?
It's really bad. I'm talking monster pigweed.
And that's why I got the spray thing on there. I'll spray them. I ain't going out and chopping today.
I've chopped them all.
Well, that's it for today. We'll see you in the morning. Yesterday we got our 2 hydrostat pumps out, and what we got left to do is we got to pull the hydraulic motors off that the pumps supply oil to. One right down there on the transmission, that's what actually drives the picker, makes it go forward and backwards. And then we got another one right there, and that's the one that actually drives the road units. One hydrostat goes to one motor and the other hydrostat goes to the other motor, and they're both linked together. So we don't know if necessarily the hydrostat pumps are getting weak or the motors are getting weak or both. So we're going to take both the pumps and the motors off and have them completely gone through. This one's not going to be that bad. I mean, you've got 2 lines going to it and then 4 mounting bolts, and we can get to it pretty easy from the bottom. However, this one up here, it's in a spot I don't know if we can get to, because we need to stand. You got transmission and a bunch of hoses and everything else in the way to be able to stand there and take everything loose. So might have to get a little acrobatic this morning. Alright, got everything loose off the motor there. Now we're going to try and set her down. Alright, go ahead. I think I can at least slow the fall down now. Here's a hammer.
Man, it's loose.
Oh.
What is holding this thing? Hey, ease her down. All right, I got her.
Well, surprise, surprise, that was the easy part.
I think it's just like yesterday when we got that back motor out. It was just to give us hope before the headache.
We ain't gotten to the heart.
Yeah, I know.
Alright, one motor down. Here we go. Well, we went 43 days with virtually no rain, and now we can't hardly get the fields dry enough to get in them without it raining again. I am not complaining though. I don't think I'll ever complain about it being too wet ever again. I hate droughts. I hate them with a passion. So this rain, even though probably gonna knock us out of spraying cotton tomorrow like we need to, not gonna hurt my feelings a bit. It's every raindrop that falls is making me a little bit more money. In fact, we got enough moisture in the ground that the corn that has survived and is still filling out ears has got enough moisture to go the distance and get the black layers. So any more rain will not benefit the corn crop anymore. Now there's some spots in the fields where the corn is dead. The kernels haven't filled all the way out. They haven't made it to black layer, and the corn's just dead. So going to be a little interesting on shelling corn, trying to set the combine, because the cobs are going to be small. They're going to be kind of rubbery. The kernels are going to be small, probably going to be wet because they haven't matured out, and going to be hard threshing. Going to be really hard to set a combine together, all the corn. But this rain's definitely beneficial on about on right at 1,000 acres of our crop. The soybeans and the cotton definitely going to be beneficial. But at this point, after working on this cotton picker for 2 days, I hope I'm gonna have a cotton picker back together to actually pick a decent cotton crop this fall. All right, the second one for dim is right here, and as you can tell, we need a tiny midget to be able to fit up in this little hole to get to all the bolts and stuff. Still ain't figured this one out yet. we finally got two hydrostatic pumps out, one of the hydraulic drive motors and the other hydraulic drive motor out. Let me show you what we had to do to get it out. That last hydraulic motor, we had to gut all of this in here. Right here is where the fan, the blower fan sits that blows the cotton up in the basket. We had to completely gut this thing out because there was a pulley right there that was froze onto the shaft, and there was no clearance to get anything on there to get the pulley off, and they took a posi puller to get it off. So I had to wound up taking all of this out to get that off, and then that made it a lot easier to get the pump off too, because we actually get up in there. But in the meantime, here's the shaft that drives the fan. So when we took the fan off, we seen this, and you probably can't hear it, but the bearings in here are dry. So they was going to go out at some point anyway, so it's actually beneficial that we went ahead and did it. We found those bearings. There was an idler pulley on that drives the fan. Its bearing was getting dry too. And then here's the housing of the fan. And you see we got a hole wore right there. This is fiberglass, and just years and years of this fan running, you know, the air that is pulling in has got dirt or got dust in there, which is abrasive, and finally wore a hole in this housing right here. So it's starting to get thin, and the way it's positioned, I mean, you just can't see it until we got it out. So got to fix this. Probably just gonna get a fiberglass repair kit to patch this hole, because we're gonna tell them how much this housing is, and I don't know how much longer I'm gonna own this picker anyway. So probably get a fiberglass repair kit to patch that hole. So it's taking us 2 days to get all this stuff out. 2 service calls, because to get that pulley out, to get all this stuff out, we had to call Tennessee Tractor out here again, because it was a 3-person job to get all this stuff out, because it's big, bulky, and heavy. You need somebody in the middle and on both sides to get all this stuff out. So we're going to drop our pumps and our motors off at Moore Pumps tomorrow. Let them get started rebuilding it. I've gone through my list, ordered all the parts that we're going to need to fix this stuff, plus a couple of odds and ends. You know, we took the drive shaft out, so I'm going to go ahead and replace the U-joints. Even though they're still good, we got that out. We're going to replace the U-joints, belt, you know, all the O-rings and stuff on our hydraulic fittings, just to make sure that when all this goes back together, I'm not going to pull it back apart again. And also, while we was waiting on Tennessee Tractor to get out here, we pulled our tractor in here, and we got some work to do on the AC evaporator. Zach started pulling the seat out because the evaporator is up under the seat. You can see the fan blower motor right there, and the evaporator, we think, is starting to get pretty dirty, not getting the airflow through there. Had a problem with the filter that goes on it. It came out of its bracket, and it let some dirt and stuff by, so we're going to get that cleaned up real good where we get the AC back up to 100% performance. And then also tomorrow, Zach and Kelly, they're going to spray cotton again, and I'll be back down here working on a bunch of odds and ends on this picker. Probably going to get started on some head work, but I'll bring you along for that whenever I get started on that, and show you exactly what we're doing. Anyway, it's adult beverage time. I'll see y'all in the morning.